This is Toss Talk, where it's all about yard games, having fun, and what it takes to create social entertainment. With your host and creator, Kelvin, on Toss Tunes Radio.
Hey, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Toss Talk. And today we are playing RampShot. Yeah. Oh man, this has been an interview that's a long time coming. I am stoked that I got these guys on the phone. Got the owner and the marketing director. So this is going to be a good chat. If you haven't played RampShot, links are in the show notes. Check them out on Instagram. Order yourself a set. This is a fun game. It could be chill or it could be intense, kind of like Spikeball. But yes, you need to have this in your backyard. It is essential. So links are in the show notes, like I said, and let's get into this chat. Let's do it, guys. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Calvin, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. This is Josh over at RampShot. I have Ian. I'm going to merge him into the call as well here.
Nice.
Okay. All right. I got Ian and Kelvin on the line.
What's up, Ian?
Hey, how's it going, Kelvin? Thanks for setting this up.
Good. Yeah, man. I'm glad that I finally get to chat with you guys. Thanks for hopping on Toss Talk with me.
Absolutely. I noticed that you're the 757 Virginia Beach area code. Is that where you're from?
Yes, Virginia Beach, born and raised.
I went to school in Virginia, and I have a bunch of friends that are in that area, and we actually have a rep there. So I don't know if have you played RampShot before?
I have not played RampShot yet, but I'm a big fan and longtime follower of your page and everything you guys are doing.
Maybe I'll try to set you up to get out to the beach sometime soon and have my friend Logan teach you how to play.
Yes, that'd be awesome. Looks like a fun game and got to be a little athletic to play, but that's what I like about it. So let's get into the background. How did you actually come up with creating the game, and talk a little bit about the business?
Yeah, so I'm actually a phys ed teacher. I've been a phys ed teacher for about 17 years or so, and I was teaching some kids at school about some of the classic yard games out there, and some of the newer ones, some of the older ones. And on the way home from work, I just kind of came up with a concept for a game, not even thinking about selling or promoting it at first, just kind of something that would be kind of fun for my students to play. And came home, started nailing some wood together. And next thing you know, we kind of had the first iteration of RampShot, and so it kind of was pretty cool at first. And then I showed it to some friends, and they got hooked on it, and showed it to a few more friends. And next thing you know, I realized we might have something here. And a good friend of mine, Kevin Texera, he's my partner in RampShot. He is a big yard games fan himself, and we kind of started messing around with it and kind of tweaking like some of the rules and things like that. And all of a sudden we had RampShot, and we started realizing we were onto something here. And next thing you know, we kind of, started into the world of, starting a business and manufacturing, and kind of learning a lot along the way. So it's been a fun ride.
That's very cool. And how long have you been in business, or has it been on the market?
Yeah, we've been around for about 6 years now. So that kind of includes, the beginning where we were just kind of, doing a little, research and development, and, just kind of growing from there. A lot of word of mouth, and, just taking it one step at a time.
I hear you. How exactly did you come up with the name? Was it just because of how it looked, or did you stumble into that?
Yeah, no, we honestly, we had to look at a lot of different things. It was the first time naming a product, or business. And, so we looked at a lot of other, like sports and other games, and, they were all very simple, like in their names. If you think about all their names, it's like Can Jam, Spike Ball, or if you look at professional sports, baseball, football, right? They were all just kind of like very, very simple. So we didn't want to really, do anything like kind of corny or try to go over the top. We just looked at it. It's like you're shooting a ball at, at a ramp. It's RampShot. And then of course the next step is to try to figure out if you can, get the .com and see if any of the, get all the social media, and those are all important too. We didn't want to get it, have to come up with a site that was like RampShot game, .com or something like that.
Know.
So it was just kind of available, and we were able to, copyright it. And so, so that's kind of how we came up with it. But it's kind of cool when we look back now and think about, sitting in the office and just kind of bouncing ideas around and thinking about some of the old names of what it could have been. So it was definitely a fun stage.
I later learned that it was almost going to be called Traps with a Z or Groove Ball with no E. And I saw some of the old mock-up logos, and it was fun to see what it could have been.
It is nice when you find something that sticks, and then looking back and like, oh gosh, glad I didn't pick that name.
Yeah, exactly.
So how exactly do you play the game?
Ian, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So it's essentially a more active version of cornhole. So you and your partner stand opposite of each other. The ball you use is essentially a branded racquetball. You're shooting it towards the opposite goal or ramp, hoping to make it into the net for 3 points. Okay. Your partner is standing behind the board that you're shooting towards. Their goal is to try to catch the ball off the ramp. So once it hits the board and you catch it, you earn 1 point. And we have a few different versions of the game. So in our more advanced version, you have what's called the slapback. So if the ball hits the board, you can slap the ball back to your partner to earn 2 points.
Yeah.
And then the neat part of our game is that you also have a defender. So the person next to the shooter gets to come down the lane in hopes that you miss it short, where it's going to rebound back, and that's how they earn a steal. So you have 3 out of the 4 players involved in every play.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of pictures and seen videos and stuff. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about the game has come along. There's people that are 8 years old that can really enjoy the game, and then there's people that are 18 that could play it at a whole new level, and then you have some older people that can play it. So we feel like it kind of covers like a big variety of of ages and skill level too. So everybody can enjoy it, which has been really cool. And it's something that we something we were excited about, and something that we wanted to create a game for everybody, not just for a specific group.
I hear you. And from when you started, what version are you on now from like the original concept? Did you have a lot of remakes in there, or was it just like a couple of different versions?
Yeah, well, in the early going, when I told you, we were mentioning before about, kind of putting, nailing some plywood and some wood together. Uh-huh. We originally started off, the angles weren't quite the same. And then we had to figure out the grooves on the top, because we were noticed that when we were first playing, the first few weeks, the bounces were too easy off the top. They would kind of come straight at you and too easy to catch. So we had to make, finding the right groove, even though it looks kind of simple on the board now, that took a little while to figure out, like, what would be the best way to design the top of the board so that the ball will kick right or left, or sometimes high, sometimes low. So that was kind of like a big modification that we made early on. And then once everything, once we figured out all of the angles and the dimensions and, how we wanted the ball to play, that's when we finally went from, wood to plastic. We kind of like wood would have been impossible to be able to manufacture, especially at a fast rate. And plastic was it was portable. It's, lightweight, obviously waterproof. So it's kind of, easy to bring it to the beach and things like that. So before we kind of, made that the final product, we had lots of changes along the way.
I hear you, but that's cool. That's nice about the grooves and everything. I noticed it had that, but noticing that you had to kind of go through some bumps and grooves just to get to that playing style, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And in terms of the rules have come along, when I got involved in 2017, there was just the RampShot Classic. The one way to play was your 1 points and 3 pointers. Okay. And I was a 25-year-old, very active, very competitive. So when I was introducing it to my friends, we kind of thought there could be a little bit more to it. And thought there needed to be a way to score 2 points. So that's when we came up with the slapback, and that kind of changed the whole dynamic of every position in the game and creates more highlight plays, just catered more towards that
Yeah.
college and up level, just to kind of turn it more into the sport as well.
Yes.
But then at the same time, I was going to summer camps and schools and bringing it to a much younger audience, where I wanted to modify it and bring it down a notch. So then we came up with RampShot Rookie. So that's kind of what we're proud of, is having 3 different ways to play the game. So it's catered to all different populations.
Yeah, I like that because like I said, I've seen videos, so seeing that slapback and people trying to get it, it does make for a really cool highlight, and it kind of puts you in that realm of, like, you know, spike ball, like a little bit more active yard game sport. So that's very cool.
Yeah, we feel like it's kind of a mix between, as far as like, you know, athletic ability, kind of like a mix of, you know, it's kind of right in that sweet spot between cornhole and spike ball. So you're not, you know, necessarily going all out if you don't want to, but it's certainly not, you know, standing in place a lot like cornhole.
Yeah.
I'm a big cornhole fan myself, but sometimes I like to be, you know, moving around and kind of, you know, maybe make a highlight catch.
Yeah,
yeah, like a fun thing to do in a yard game. So
of course.
Yeah, my ideal day is playing hours of RampShot on the beach and kind of wearing my body down, and then later on playing cornhole, more relaxed, beer in hand.
I hear ya.
My background was in ultimate frisbee, which I still play competitively, and then I used to work for Spikeball and travel and play in tournaments and stuff. So that slapback kind of had that element of Spikeball, just the same spot you're hitting it with your hand. And then also I love like going up for a 50-50 ball. And that's something that, you know, you do a lot in frisbee. So
yeah,
that was the
ultimate frisbee is like huge these days. I've been following it a lot more lately, and the athleticism and just the quickness where they throw the frisbee around, it's crazy.
Yeah, great sport.
Yeah, moving along a little bit. So Ian, you could probably take this question. If when you're introducing the game to new players that haven't really played before, what are some like common misconceptions that they say about it?
Yeah, there's a few. So we definitely hear that it's like a knockoff of cornhole or spikeball, but really it's a very different game.
Yeah.
So we definitely see, you know, I see that a lot on social media, just, you know, the haters that see a video and think it's exactly like those games just because it has similar elements to it.
Yeah.
But really, when you actually play a game of RampShot, it's something like you've never done before. It's a very unique game that's really addicting once you actually go out and play it. We also hear that, kind of like we had talked about, some people think it's, you know, if you only see one video and it's like a crazy dive and catching stuff, people might think it's a little too much for them, and they'd rather play more casually. But really, you can do a lot of things to make the game however you want it. So you can move the boards closer together. You can still play with a beer in hand and not play with the slapback rules. And then the other one, which I touched about, is that it can be played for, you know, your 8-year-old son, with your 8-year-old son, because you can modify the rules, and we have all those resources, video and rules on our website. Yeah,
that's kind of good to get out and explain too, because a lot of games, especially me seeing all these yard games out here, that people definitely try to be like, hey, this is like that or like that, and it's like, it is, but it's also its own game, so you should try it out before you just make judgments against it.
Yeah.
So where are the game sets being made?
So we actually we manufacture our ramps right in New York and on Long Island, where we're from. So that's kind of like, you know, been a big part of it for us when we first started looking at manufacturing, is to try to keep, you know, as much in the U.S. as possible. And we're very proud of the ramps that we manufacture. Not only, you know, are they, you know, made in the USA, but they are, you know, very, very durable. I told you before, as a phys ed teacher, like I've, you know, been around enough products that, you know, I've come across that are just, you know, very flimsy or, break very easy. And that could be real frustrating because we know that these things are, these ramps are going to be, taken to the beach. They're going to be thrown around in the back seat in the car. And so when we first started designing these ramps, we really wanted to make sure that they were going to be, they're going to be tough. They're going to be, portable, able to take a little bit of a beating, to a certain extent.
Uh-huh.
And so, we went through different types of plastic at first. So we would, have the manufacturer, make us one out of a certain type of plastic. We would take it, toss it around a little bit, throw it up in the air, just kind of beat on it. And if it cracked, we were like, no good. We'd tell the guys that let's do it again, try another plastic. And that took about 4 or 5 times, I would say, before we came up with a plastic that we felt like did everything we wanted it to do. Felt like the ball was going to bounce off it, the way we wanted it to, and it was also going to be tough. So, so we're real proud that we manufacture those ramps in the U.S.
That's very cool. That's also very interesting too, because just looking at the product, it does look fairly simple, but then when you go into the intricacy of talking about the different type of plastics, it's like, wow, it's like so many different things you got to consider just making a simple product. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was something that, we had to learn a lot about, things like, plastic and molds and things that you don't really, I guess, consider, at least I never considered when you start talking about, you think about like just getting a product out there and selling it, but there's obviously so much more to it. And all those little details are so important between having a good product or having a product that, goes out there and is, breaking, or just people aren't happy with the quality. And that's certainly something that, we didn't want.
Yeah, well, that's good. Glad you guys found a unique balance and your products out there on the market. All right, guys, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. We'll be right back after this short break. Hey, if you like yard games and you're an avid golfer, you're gonna love this game. It is called Chip Down. You heard it right, Chip Down. This game will not only help you practice your chipping, but it's a fun game that you can take anywhere, to the beach, and you could even play it indoors. Who doesn't love practicing some chipping, especially indoors? This game is available right now. Use promo code TOSS, that's all caps TOSS, and get yourself 10% off your order of Chip Down. You are going to love this game. It all comes in a nice package, even with some nice turfs that you could play, practice anywhere. So get yourself on Chip Down. Links are in the show notes. Promo code TOSS. Enjoy. All right, so welcome back. Let's get back into this chat. How are things going since you've been in business for a while? Like, how are sales? You don't have to get into numbers, but like, how are things progressing?
Yeah, when we've been very fortunate. We've been kind of like steadily growing year after year, really without missing a beat. This year, obviously, with COVID has been such a unique situation. So I think just like everybody else, you're kind of like wondering how is it going to, affect business. And that was kind of like a big question mark we had in March. But to be honest, I think, we've actually seen quite an increase this year. I think maybe it's a combination of, a couple of things. One, I think that, we've been kind of doing this whole, word of mouth, thing going on for years. So we've been seeing a steady increase. But I think, with people that are, kind of been on lockdown, in one way or another, they're looking for something to do, with their families, or looking for something to do where they can, have a good time in their backyard while they're, while they have to be home. So, so we've actually seen quite an increase this year. But, and overall though, we're seeing a nice steady increase year over year. And, our plan really is I wouldn't call it, I don't know if we'll call it a plan, but what's happened is basically like word of mouth, and that's kind of like our biggest thing is when people start playing and, next thing you know, they like bring it to a barbecue and those people will start playing. Like, what, a lot of people think, what is this? Because, as much as we're growing, we're still pretty small, so there's a lot of people that look at it for the first time and go, I've never heard of this. And next thing you know, we got, more fans, and, it's kind of it's a slow way to grow. But we're pretty confident that, it's been working, pretty nicely, over the years. It's definitely, it's definitely for us. We feel like it's a smart way to go.
I hear you. Yeah, a lot of these people are in the same boat, and it does take a little bit of time, but you guys have a great product, and I like the way you guys are branding it and getting it out there. And I'm glad to hear that things are going well, even with the COVID going around.
Yeah, it's been a tougher year for me personally because I'm kind of the in-person guy, so I do a lot of traveling, doing professional development, and trade shows, and hosting tournaments and stuff like that. So obviously, very happy to know that people are wanting to get into a new hobby and sales are going up during this time. But yeah, it's been a hard time, and I've had to take a step back a little bit, not being able to do as much planning and stuff.
All good, man. Well, my platform is here if you want to market anything or want to collab on something. I'm glad to be speaking with you guys. Like I said, I've admired a lot of yard games, and you guys are definitely in one of my top 5 that I wanted to interview you guys on. So I'm glad to be talking to you guys.
Cool.
Since you guys are been around for a while, what are your like marketing strategies these days besides just word of mouth? Are you guys trying to do anything different, mix it up?
Well, to be honest, our word of mouth has been basically our main, advertising. Our main advertising strategy. We've done little, very, very little as far as like social media stuff, as far as like, paid ads and things like that. Our social media accounts, we kind of, post different things that we've been doing or up to, or, just like everybody else. But as far as paid ads, we really haven't done too much on the, on the social media end or, the PR end or anything like that. It's actually something that we're exploring for this summer. So we're looking at working with a marketing firm for the first time coming up in the next quarter. So if we start seeing more of RampShot, in your newsfeed, that might be why. But as far as right now, it's basically been word of mouth. And then the other big push that we've made, and we've done it intentionally, is to get out to the different phys ed trade shows that are out there. Each state has their own trade show for anybody who's not familiar with that, and I wasn't even familiar with it years ago. And it's for phys ed teachers that kind of are able to come to a conference for a couple of days and learn about a lot of different products, and RampShot being one of them. And our strategy is you go and teach phys ed teachers about this great game. It's perfect for high school students and middle school students, even some elementary. And the phys ed teachers learn how to play it. I can't even tell you how many people just fall in love with the game. We typically sell out of anything that we bring, and then they order for, sets for their kids at their school, and those kids learn how to play. And so that's been, one of our other strategies. So, when you're first starting on the company, it's so hard to know, where to, invest your money, especially when you're kind of new to it. So you kind of go with the things that work. And we know that phys ed is something that has really worked for us. And, it's been a category that's really been thriving for us lately. So
we have a new website. We had a very homemade looking website for years. And then, what is it now? Just 6 months or so? Maybe a little more.
Nice. Yeah, you gotta keep up with it. Can't just keep the same old website.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the random question portion of the podcast. You guys both can answer, and just let people get to know you a little bit more. So if you're at a backyard barbecue, what's your favorite dish or snack at the barbecue?
All right, I'll answer these first, Ian, and then you can follow mine. So, favorite dish is a classic cheeseburger, and if you're gonna go anything on the side, it's gonna be macaroni salad.
Nice.
Ooh, mine's close. I have a very volatile one in potato salad because high ceiling, or what's the phrase? It can be really good or it can be pretty suspect.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Second question. What is your favorite yard game besides RampShot?
Yeah, for me, without a doubt, it's Can Jam. It's kind of a game that I've always loved playing and still love playing.
Nice.
Yeah, I can echo that. That was the one I kind of first got into. I also just love being the person in my friend group to introduce a new game, and it's crazy how many in the last 3-4 years there have been. Just looking through your Instagram's saved story of all your games.
Oh yeah,
just like mind blowing. And but the one word answer, aside from Kanjo, I'd say Coob. That's a fan favorite of ours.
Yeah, I love that game. It's a lot of fun on the beach. All right, so third question: do you guys have a favorite conspiracy theory?
It's funny that you mentioned conspiracy theories because if anybody looks through their news feeds right now, on any platform, it's basically the same like YouTube conspiracy theories about what's happening right now.
I know.
But without getting into that, I'm not huge into conspiracy theories. I don't know why. I try to like to think that I like to see the good in everyone, and I hope that But with that said, if there was one conspiracy, that would have to be the Jfk assassination. That's always the one that I'm kind of drawn to a little bit.
Yeah, that's a classic one. There's something interesting going on there. What about you, Ian?
Yeah.
That's actually the same one I had written down.
Nice. That's just a fun question for me because I think there's so many random things that we don't know about that you gotta have a favorite theory.
Yeah.
So, fourth question: what is your favorite movie of all time?
I'm gonna go Gladiator.
Ooh,
always been
nice.
Seen that movie probably 100 times, but even when it's on TV, if I kind of passes the channels, I'm gonna have to stop and watch it.
Yes. What about you, Ian?
I'm gonna go with The Sandlot.
Yes.
I'd say the movie I've seen the most growing up was Big Daddy, but Sandlot is all-time favorite.
There you go. Good choices. I like that. Last question. So, who was your childhood idol?
Well, growing up in New York, being a Yankee fan, I think I probably have the same childhood idol as probably half to 75% of the population of New York. That'd be Don Mattingly.
Nice.
100%. He's just kind of the person that I, never had a favorite like him again. So he's kind of the man around here.
There you go. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, mine's also a sports figure. I grew up a huge Celtics fan. Not exactly at the right time because they're struggling post Larry Bird era, but Paul Pierce for me, he stuck around for years, and that was the first guy I really idolized and wrote papers about when I was younger.
Very cool. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I like that. Well, good questions, guys. I just have a few more questions for you in general. So back to starting the business, what would you say was the most challenging aspect when you started the business?
Well, money is always a challenging aspect. We didn't really have anybody to say, here's some money to get this thing started. So I think when we first started out, and we kind of when it was just kind of Kevin and I, we kind of looked at each other, all right, how much money do you have? And, we had like peanuts, we didn't have 2 dimes to run together. And so, somehow we had to make it work. And I think was the most challenging thing. And I think, always is the most challenging thing is just, being able to, manufacture and be able to, budget and know where to spend things and not to spend things. So I think that's money is always
I get that. Challenge. Ian, when you started, what do you think was the most challenging aspect for you with getting into the new job?
Kind of just starting all over because I had done probably 3 years of spike ball work. And so, but it was an exciting challenge. I know when I took over, just that there wasn't much of a social media presence. I think there were maybe 200 followers on Instagram and stuff. Okay. So just trying to organically build that up and get to as many events as possible, but also having to do that on a budget. So being selective and stuff.
That money, always. So I know we are in a COVID-19 world right now, but what are you guys excited for the business coming up? Like any new events or any new things that you guys are doing?
Yeah, I think it's hard to the events that we have coming up or had planned coming up. Like we always do a summer tournament. That's kind of on hold for right now. We're not exactly putting a date on when it will actually happen. And those are the things that we normally get excited about. We normally get excited about like the main RampShot tournaments, and then plus some other tournaments that RampShot is involved in as well. There's a big tournament on Long Island that we actually just got wind of today. That's RampShot is one of 8 games that has now been pushed back to September, hopefully. So the in-person things are the things we get excited about most, and that's what I would say. But like you said, being in a COVID world right now, this, as I mentioned before, looking to partner with a marketing firm. It'll be the first time that we've actually, tried to, get into the whole digital marketing thing.
Okay.
So with the steady growth we've seen, we're excited to see, what could happen when a lot more eyes are on the product and see what a difference that can make in the company.
Yeah, that's very cool because, I've known about your product for a while, but I definitely don't think there's a lot of people that know about it. So there's definitely a lot of upside and potential with getting your game out there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and for me, like once we are post-COVID world, definitely excited about having a college ambassador program. It's something that we have like a pilot program.
Okay, nice. I like that idea.
Yeah, we did. So we tried it out for like one semester, but it was pretty, low key, and but that's something that we would love to grow just in that scene.
Very cool. And what is like a long-term goal for RampShot? Like, what's big picture look like a couple years down the road?
A couple of years down the road, we hope we're going to see that that huge growth. We get excited when people are playing the game and having a good time. I think it's just for us, it's really cool to be able to have a product that brings people together, and people having fun. Or when we hear stories of people like, oh my gosh, we had a blast. We were at a college graduation party, we were at a barbecue, we had so much fun.
Yeah.
For us, it's really kind of cool to be able to know that we created a product that people are able to have a good time, spend time with their friends, their family. So over the next few years, as we continue to grow, I think it'd be really cool when, RampShot, we hope becomes a household name. And we know that something that we created is, being enjoyed by, thousands or, millions of people, around the country or world. That'd be kind of a cool thing.
I love that, and good luck to you.
Definitely. And I know that we'll get there and be on Barstool Sports and all these big accounts on SportsCenter Top 10.
Yes, well,
we just.
I'm trying to start a media company called Oddball Sports with a couple people from Chicago, Alex from American Bocce. So we're going to be a little bit like a bar stool for, more yard games and out of the ordinary sports. So definitely be glad to feature you guys and get you in there. Yeah. So cool things are coming, man.
Nice.
Last question. So as a yard game entrepreneur, what is your mantra or quote that you're living by that gets you inspired to get RampShot sold every single day?
I think I mentioned it before. I think I might even said it verbatim accidentally, is bring people together.
Yes.
That's our whole mission. Sometimes the business stuff kind of gets in the way. And that's why I said we really love like the live events, because it's a chance to like hang out with people and have a good time and seeing smiles and people just really enjoying themselves. So we feel like what our product does, what our mission is, to bring people together. And, that's been our goal since day one. We just love that whole lifestyle of being able to, barbecue in the backyard, head down to the beach, hang out with friends and family. We love that lifestyle before we developed RampShot. So we're just excited that, our product is something that can kind of add to that. So bring people together is our mantra, and that's something that we really believe in.
Yes, that's perfect. It's nice to have that at the core root of a product like yours. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's all I have for you. Thank you for joining me and talking about your product. I'm glad to promote it more and get it out there for you.
All right. Thanks, Calvin. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thanks for making this happen, Kelvin.
Yes, of course. And I'll be in touch. I'll chat with you guys soon. All right.
Very good. Thanks again for having us on.
Later.
All right, take care.
That was Josh and Ian. Josh is the owner of RampShot. Ian, marketing director, social media, all the bells and whistles, wearing all the hats in the business. I am stoked that I got to chat with them, catch up with them about their game and what's going on. Links are in the show notes. Follow RampShot, get yourself a set, have some fun. Like I said, it's a very active, but it also could be a chill game. So tell your friends, word of mouth. That's how business spreads. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.